welcome. We're here for the Logan family reunion. We're in Red Oak, Iowa. It's Saturday, November 25th, 1989. We're right next to the highway. So there's traffic zooming by, and I'll probably pause every time a vehicle goes by just so that you can hear me. This is the Logan family reunion, or at least this very small segment of the Logan family is getting together. This is a book that I compiled and published back in 1981, and a lot of things have changed since then, of course. People have passed on, new ones have come on the scene, and we're here today just to renew old ties and to compare notes, and to get some new information too on the family tree and the genealogy, but also just to, just to have a good time. Now, I brought with me an updated family tree, and not everyone, of course, is here, but some of the people are, and we're going in now to the dinner. It'll be in the basement, and after the dinner, there'll be some minor speeches, and I'll introduce everyone that's here from this family tree, so you'll be able to put the names to the faces. This is Motley Crue.
No.
And Dr. Feelwaffle. Uh-oh, here comes another Nick.
Oh, you already had it, George. Yes, sir. Oh,
Nikki, Nicholas, come here.
oh, you came back in here.
Cookie.
Let's see who this lady is.
The little plate, honey?
Probably all
Oh, let me wipe my...
Yeah, food running out of her mouth. It's still on your chin. You already got them in there? Yeah. Little ones in there? Yeah, they're...
Who is this?
Smile.
Who are you?
Hi, I'm Gerald Edward Logan, otherwise known as Gerry, and I thought before we all disbanded, it would be a good idea for especially some of the younger folks and some of the people that have come into the family in the recent years to make introductions so we all know who each other are. And what better way to do it than to have a family tree? So, I feel a little odd doing this, so I encourage anybody to jump in and correct me or add any comments to what I say, or to get up and take over if you feel like you want to. And I'm going to go around and introduce. We're going to start with the family tree back in 1804, and of course, great-great-great-grandpa couldn't be here with us today. But we'll start that back there, and we'll work out on the family tree, and when we get to the people that are here today, we'll introduce them by the name and ask them to stand up, wave, or whatever, and we'll get a picture on the old video camera.
Yeah. All right.
Good idea. We appreciate your effort.
Thank you.
Control your family.
Okay.
Each one, control your families.
Now, well, we have some new information that Ed brought with him today on your. Well, first I'll start on the left side of the family tree. William Logan is as far back as I've been able to get so far in our family tree, and he was born in 1804 in Kentucky at the same time that Daniel Boone was still alive and roaming the hills of Kentucky. And to find out, to take the family tree back farther, we're going to have to go to Kentucky and look through records there. So far we haven't made that trip. But he married Melinda Tracy. Now Melinda Tracy, we can trace her family. Ed Hite has traced Melinda Tracy's family all the way back to the American Revolution. Matter of fact, she's registered as a daughter of the American Revolution, is that right?
That's right.
And they keep real fine genealogical records of all the people that are involved in that. So we want to take the Tracy family back, we can go quite a few generations. William married Melinda, and they had a few kids. And on the next page, attached to the back of this family tree, are 3 of the kids, 3 of the 10 kids altogether. And this photograph was sent to me by Aunt Opal, and the photograph looked like it did in the upper part when it came to me, and I did my best to try to restore it. And what you see on the bottom is a restoration of the photograph. And the gentleman to the far left is James Harvey Logan. He's the next one down on the family tree. And Ed just told me today that these other 2 brothers, the one in the middle was named Benjamin, and the one on the right is the baby of the family named Royal Logan. So we do have some royalty in the family after all. Now we have some, excuse me, bring the camera over this way. Whoa! We have the names.
Well, of course you have. Of course you look like somebody.
For your information, we have the names of all the kids that were born to William Logan and Melinda Logan. The oldest one was Mary. There was James Harvey, Thomas, Elizabeth, Louisa, Susan, William, Martha, Benjamin, and Royal. Glenda and Marilyn had a big family. Okay, if we go. So even from the time that I drew this family tree, we've added on. I only had James Harvey and his wife with 2 brothers there, but we can add on 7 others now. And I would go down to the next generation. That's James Harvey and Mary Josephine Tracy. And this is sort of a puzzle because her last name's Tracy, and then William's wife's last name was Tracy, but we don't think they're from the same Tracy family. At least we're hoping it's not family incest. Now, they lived in Elliott, Iowa, which is just north of here about, how far north is Elliott? 10 miles? Yeah. So James Harvey came west, and he settled in Elliott, Iowa. And matter of fact, their graves are up there. They're unmarked. They don't have any stones, but their graves are up there. If you go to the records office in Elliott, they can tell you where they're at.
They're just up there somewhere.
Yeah. No markers. They had kids. They had Edward Lewis Logan, and there's been a family argument about this for a long time. Was his name really Thomas, or was it Edward? Maybe it was Edward, and he had the nickname of Tom, because some people in the family have been named after this guy with the name Thomas, and we certainly hope he had that name. And this was great-grandpa Ed, my great-grandpa Ed, and he married Chena Ellen Randall, and we have photographs of her that was in that book that we brought out and in 1981. And they also had kids, George William Logan, William Franklin Logan, known as Frank, Sarah Cady Logan, Walter Logan, who lived in Elliott all his life and then died, was buried up there too. There was Clarence and Mary. One of them died. Must have been Mary. Anyway, Edward, Chena, his wife, died of childbirth. She gave birth to I think it was Mary, and 14 days later she died, and the kids were all small. So, am I getting this right, Ed? Getting confused. Okay. Yeah. That's right. She died, and then Chena died, and then Ed had to raise all the kids by himself, and it was a rough task. And oh, this is what I'm doing wrong. These are brothers and sisters. Edward and Chena got together. They married, and they had children. That's the next generation over. Their kids were Noel, Opal, Anna Opal, Cleo, Oral, and Madeline. That's this picture. Now this was published in our 1981 book. These are the kids taken in the early 1900s. And it was, when Chena died, it was up to Opal. She was the oldest girl in the family. She was the only girl in the family. And she basically raised her brothers. And Opal's still alive today, and her son is Ed Hite, and Ed is sitting back there in the corner.
Wasn't she 11, Ed, wasn't she about 11 when she started raising those boys?
She was
She
11.
told me, yes.
Yeah, she was 11. Oral actually came and lived with us after my mother and dad were married. When I was a little boy, I didn't know that he was my brother. You know, I thought he was my brother.
Hurry back, hurry back.
Okay. And Cleo was the first to pass on, and Grandpa Noel. Now his wife, Noel's wife, Mildred, is still alive today. She's living in Texas with her daughter Linda. And Uncle Oral lived here in Red Oak with his wife Alice for most of their lives. I guess it was all their lives they lived in Red Oak, right? And both of them passed away. It was at 82 in 1982 for Alice, and then 1984 for Oral. And Madeline was the daughter that was born and only lived 14 days, and she was the one that her mother died in childbirth with her. Pardon me? 14 days. Yeah. She had peripheral fever, something like that.
Oh.
Nicholas?
Who's the nurse? Who's Glenda? Childbirth fever. Okay. Now we're getting back into the generation that we're familiar with. Noel had kids. Noel and Mildred had kids. And the first of all was Glenda Eugene Logan. And he married a dashing young lady named Marilyn Black.
Turn around. Stand up.
Marilyn Black.
You know, the one with the food hanging out the
Okay, the other children of we'll get to your kids soon.
Please do.
Okay, Noel and Mildred had other kids. You can see down below Glendon was Neil Edward Logan, and that was my father. And father, we'll get to that too. He married Norma Hilding, was right here behind Marilyn Black.
There she is.
Hi.
These two were best friends in high school. Is that right?
Yeah. Before high school.
Before they even met the Logan brothers.
Certainly.
Then they met the year.
Oh, that's what mentioned.
Then they met and dated the Logan brothers, and both got corrupted and married to the Logans. Other children of Noel and Mildred. Down below is Linda Kay Logan. She lives in Texas, and she's the one that Grandma's staying with now. Going up toward the top, another child of Noel and Mildred was Maxine, or Mildred Maxine. We called her Maxine, or Aunt Max. She married Harry Frankenberg and moved to California to follow her dreams of being a movie actress or going out there where the glitter was. And above her is William Leon Logan. Now, William is Uncle Bill. You've probably heard of us talk about Uncle Bill. Uncle Bill was a big guy. He was the biggest Logan I think that ever lived. Oops. I'm right. I have, you probably have other pictures floating around of him, but here's a picture of Uncle Bill when he was getting sworn in as Master Chief. He was a Chief Petty Officer in the U.S. Navy Construction Battalion, Utility Man Chief, and his wife was Hiromi. I don't know her maiden name. I probably couldn't pronounce it if I did know it. She was from Japan. They married in Japan. And how big was Bill?
6'4".
6'4".
75, 75.
He was a big hunter.
Oh, I'll bet he was.
Anyway, Uncle Bill died in Vietnam in 1971.